When I was in my 20s training guys in their 40s, and now even in my 40s training guys who are in their 40s, 50s, and beyond, the number one goal that always comes up by default, and this is always secondarily even to general muscle aesthetics, is always guys will gesture to their midsection, they'll give it a little shake, and they will say, I just want to lose some of this. And they're talking about their belly fat, they want to increase abdominal definition, something to that extent. Millions and billions of dollars have been poured into programs, specialized apps, diets, hormonal supplementation. And if you guys are new here, guys, this is a brand new channel. I actually have other channels, but this one I'll focus on simple strength training, doing so naturally, no peptides, no hormones, nothing like that. Doing so totally naturally and effectively and simply here. I can tell you guys that there is a very simple solution, and what I've observed in my youth and even upwards to where I am right now, that if anyone is seeing success in dropping belly fat, it is not the diet. Yes, that is a part of it. It is not purely physical activity or the new trend now of just saying you're walking off belly fat, whatever. I think that is also somewhat on the hype train, although it definitely can play a role with it. This is what I'm going to break down for you guys in this video. If you guys are new here, I'm just trying to give you guys simplistic, effective, result-driven advice and tips for the basic common man, because even though I have a doctorate and teach for exercise science for a living, I love and always have been giving you guys brass tacks things that are rooted on a psychological level that really at the end of the day keep you guys adherence and keeping you guys coming back to exercise so you can see long-term results. So what I have observed here, and this really, if you search deeply, you know this is common sense and is true. It does come down to the fact that if you look at anyone's body, people do not want to admit this. Of course, there are individual genetics, and if you have kids like I do, you can see there are genetic differences and even the way people express physical activity. Yes, that is always going to be present. But when you look at someone's body, it is always telling a story. The story is in their posture, their story is in their muscle, their story is in their grip strength, and even just the density of their muscles to a certain extent. Yes, bone structure does play a role too, and yes, people have certain higher or less fat deposits than other people, or just fat storage cells. That is a reality. However, it does not change the fact that if your overall output and your overall balance of what you consume in a day, and I do not mean you have to be on some super clean diet, because I can say wholeheartedly, I eat and drink whatever I want as long as it's somewhat in balance with what I'm doing throughout my long-term consistency. You can easily have a very flat stomach. In fact, by default, I think humans are meant to have fairly flat stomachs. And I also don't mean you have to starve yourself or do any kind of intermittent fasting, anything like that. As much as I'm guilty and have tried all those things, mostly in my 20s and 30s, I have learned that is not the case. What I have learned is that the most important thing to keep off belly fat, you can choose your method of preference with physical activity, although I do think there are some better ways of doing it that keep you more psychologically attuned and keep coming back for exercise. If you're interested in that, just contact me down below if you guys are curious about that. But what I have found, and the people that had the most success, are people that have been doing and finding some sort of long-term program that keeps them just really in a nice, even flow ever since they were in their 20s, 30s, and 40s and beyond. That those people that can find a program that they can adhere to and stick to that is very easy do not have this roller coaster or wave. And sometimes, yes, they can have times where in the winter, myself included, I'll put on a few extra pounds, I will eat a little bit more, but when it comes to summer, I can quickly lose it. So you have this very easy gauge that you can dial up or dial down your overall body fat if you so choose. And that is called a healthy, balanced metabolism. That is not any super scientific jargon. There is a very easy way of doing that. And that's kind of what I want to share with you guys here. But what I find the overall mistake many guys make, and oftentimes whenever I work with people, these tend to people that have money and resources to hire a one-on-one coach, they will tell me some of the effect of everything else is in control in their life. They're very much a type A balanced person. They can pay for very expensive trainers. They can pay for expensive programs, even apps that tell them exactly what to eat and do in a day. Yet they still are finding issues with maintaining their stubborn belly fat. And when I look at that and I hear that story, right away it tells me you might have done this and tried this a few different times, but it did not stick for you long term. This was a short-term solution. You are telling me short-term things that you have done or you have continued to do throughout a long period of time. And what my goal is with that individual and with people is to give them a set way of working out, a set schedule that fine-tunes and fits them. And I think I have somewhat, I don't say it's like haphazardly here, somewhat cracked the code on the path of least resistance to keep people attuned to coming back and working out frequently. Because I can tell you, honestly, much as I'm addicted to exercise and I love exercise, and I also love food for that matter, I would not keep up or do any of this stuff around with exercise if it was not enjoyable. And that is the key to what I'm getting at here. You have to find something that is a form of physical activity that is in total balance with your lifestyle, so that when you have a meal, whatever part of the day that is, you literally feel like you are fueling the tank. And that is a good feeling to have, because you are not doing something where you're having this mind game of what am I going to eat, and if you eat something you have this guilt trip, whatever. If you are in tune with a daily regimented schedule, that is easy to obtain, not something super rigorous or super disciplined, and that goes with diet and physical activity. Maintaining a flat stomach is exceptionally easy. If you look at any kind of civilization where people had a balance of like they had to work and they also had normal schedule they had to eat, you did not see overweight people. Yes, there's an imbalance of calories in, calories out. That's always going to be the case, but most of this stuff is very much psychological. So that's kind of the stuff I want to share with you guys on this channel. You do not have to take these crazy peptides or this new excuse I hear, especially from guys, that their TRT is low and it's the low levels that are causing this. I myself can share my numbers on the channel. They're nothing to write home about, and yet I'm constantly being accused of being on something. What you are seeing here, I don't talk about myself because there's many people examples of this, is just somebody who's been working out consistently since their teens and then into adulthood. That doesn't mean you guys can't start exactly where you are. You just have to find something that you're actually going to stick to and adhere to. And yes, there are some little things to kind of think about of some foods to maybe possibly limit your exposure to in great excess, and some things that are not as big a deal and necessarily a detriment or an obstacle to your weight training and just keeping a lean body mass in the overall spectrum of your goals. So if you guys are interested in that, that's what I'm gonna get into on this channel, guys. If you want some one-on-one free consultation, I'm doing that right now for a limited time. I'm not trying to sell you guys actually anything. This is just intake for me personally to give you guys exactly what you want and hear more from more guys like you. Thank you guys for watching, and look forward to see you guys on the channel. Please like and share, subscribe to this brand new channel here, really focused on your demographic and how I can best serve you guys. Thank you.